case. I couldn't help but think my first job out of law school 21 years ago, I was actually hired as an assistant Summit County prosecutor. And physically, the prosecutor's office then and now is located over in the City County Safety Building. It's connected to the courthouse by a long tunnel, and I think it's actually over that way. But the county prosecutor's office has the 6th and the 7th floor over there. And 21 years ago when I started there, the 7th floor had offices all around the outside, and in the middle was this library full of books. I don't know if anybody uses books, if any lawyers even use books anymore, but at the time it was important. And even more important, that library was a place where everybody would meet for lunch. And as a new lawyer, as a new prosecutor, it was great because at lunchtime, us new prosecutors could sit there and bounce ideas off of, I would say, some of the more experienced prosecutors. And I will never forget, there was a prosecutor by the name of Jonathan Menway. And he's talking about his case, and he says, he's talking about his case, and then at the end he says, "And it's a video." And you could hear a collective gasp amongst the other prosecutors that were there. It's on video? Nothing was ever on video. But that was a big deal back then. Nowadays, between security cameras and body cameras, and iPhone cameras, there's a lot of cases that have video. And it is unbelievably important in this case what the video will show you. Now, I agree with the prosecutor when he says that that is not the only evidence. But frankly, when you have eyewitnesses, sometimes they lie, sometimes they spin things, sometimes they forget things, or sometimes they're just wrong. So you will see absolutely everything that happened in this case. You just saw it. You will probably see it 50 times during the trial, and you can watch it a million times during the deliberations. Now, let me tell you what this case is not. This case is not a whodunit. Okay? Kenan Ivery is the person that should be sitting in this chair. You're never going to hear any evidence that says he was in another place, in another state, in another country, or any kind of thing like that. This is not a whodunit. This case is, and what the ultimate question will become, and frankly, the ultimate question that each of you will have to decide is, what did he do? Did he commit aggravated murder with prior calculation and design? Did he commit murder? Did he purposely have a specific intent to kill someone? Did he commit manslaughter? Or frankly, did he act this night in self-defense? That is what you will ultimately have to decide when you take in all the evidence. Now, because a lot of this stuff is on video, there is going to be, frankly, I think a lot of agreement between what the state says and what the defendant says. Okay? Kenan Ivery was at Papa Don's bar that night. Now, the prosecutor talked to you and said he got kicked out. What you need to realize is this Anne-Marie girl comes to Tiffany and says, "Hey, this guy's making me feel uncomfortable." Now, Tiffany will tell you that she doesn't know if Anne-Marie is right. She refers to Anne-Marie as a drama queen, but she makes the decision without knowing really what happened that she's going to make Kenan Ivery leave the bar. So, they have a conversation, a rather lengthy conversation, where she is explaining to Kenan Ivery why he needs to leave. She says, "I'm the bar owner, I want you to leave." He doesn't agree with it. He doesn't think he did anything that warrants getting put out of the bar. But when the prosecutor talks about anger and revenge, it doesn't rise to that level at all. He is not thrown out of the bar. There are no bouncers to take Kenan Ivery and throw him out of the bar. He is not escorted out of the bar. Nobody has to lead him to the door. Tiffany says, "I want you to leave." And he leaves. He walks out. There's no violence. There's no fight. He just walks out of the bar. several times before. In fact, earlier in the night, when Tiffany sees Kenan at the fundraiser, they say hi to each other. Because Tiffany's recognizing somebody who comes to the bar. And when he comes to the bar, he likes their chicken wings. And he gets chicken wings, and he has a couple of drinks with them. Now this night, he has chicken wings at the bar. Once Tiffany kicks him out, she says, pay your bill. We'll get you a to-go box for your wings, and leave. Kenan walks by, he pays his bill, which is about $19, and he leaves the bar. But he leaves the chicken wings there. Okay? And the reason is, he's never left food there before. The other times he's been there, he's always eaten all his food, so he's never had to worry about a to-go box. And you'll see a video where he walks and he gets in his car and he starts to drive away. He's gone for about 6 minutes. So it's 3 minutes driving away from the place, and at that point, he realizes, wait a minute, I left my food there. I'm going to go back and get my food. So he turns around and he comes back to get his food. Now the prosecutor uses words like revenge, and he came in there seeking his revenge. But you will see the video, okay? Kenan Ivery does not walk in that bar firing his gun. He does not walk in that bar seeking anyone out to hurt. He walks in the bar, and you will see it, and you will see where Kenan was seated. You guys were at the bar this morning, and as you walk in the front door, Kenan was seated at the far left end of the bar. So when Kenan walks in, and you saw it, at 1:53:00 this videotape, Kenan walks in, and he starts to walk over to where he believes he left his wings. He is confronted by David Wakady. Now, you have to understand something. David Wakady weighs about 400 pounds. Okay? He does not work with Papa John's. He is just a patron. He is a drunk patron. In fact, while we're on that subject, this happens at a bar at 2 o'clock in the morning. It probably won't surprise you that a lot of the people involved in this whole situation are intoxicated. David Wakady is drunk. He is intoxicated. Jennifer Imhoff is intoxicated. You will see her medical records. Justin Winebrenner is intoxicated. His blood alcohol is more than 1.5 times the legal limit, closer to 2 times the legal limit. Many of the people involved are intoxicated. Except for Kenan Ivery. You'll see his medical records too. His blood out, he had been drinking. It's not 0-0. He's about the only one involved whose blood alcohol isn't past the legal limit. So, Kenan Ivery walks into the bar. He is immediately confronted by a 400-pound, intoxicated, speech-slurring person who comes up to him. You'll see it. I mean, everything that we say to you, you're going to see. But this giant of a man comes up to him and says, "What are you doing here? Get out of here, or I will kick your black ass." That is what David Wakady says to Kenan Ivery. Now, does Kenan Ivery pull out his gun and start shooting people? No. Okay? You will see in the videotape, when he is first confronted, he steps back. And it's very loud in this bar. You'll hear the music mainly, but you'll be able to hear Kenan Ivery saying, "Bro, bro, 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 bro." He steps back. He puts his hand up, as if to say, "Just let me get my wings and get out of here." And frankly, if David Wakady would have taken a step back and let Kenan Ivery walk to where he thought his wings were, we wouldn't be here today. But he didn't. He is threatening to kick his ass. At this point in time, and you'll see in the videotape, frankly, Kenan's scared. He's got a 400-pound guy. You know, I always talk about people in cases, I say they're NFL offensive linemen big. That's my standard. But there are no NFL offensive a victim of violent crimes. He has a brother who was murdered a couple of years ago that is still an unsolved murder for the Akron Police Department. So he carries a gun for protection. That's illegal. All right? When you go back to that jury room, I'm going to tell you right now, I'll try to make your job a little bit easier for you. Count 16, weapons under disability. No, I'm sorry, count 15, weapons under disability. Count 16, carrying a concealed weapon. And count 17, which is illegally having a weapon in a bar. Kenan's guilty of those. He was not supposed to have a gun. He's guilty of that. But it doesn't change the facts of the case. The facts of the case are he had that gun there. And you will see on the video is when Tommy is threatening him, at first, like I said, he backs up, bro. You know, he tries to make it clear, and I think it's evident when you watch the video. He doesn't want any trouble. Well, Tommy continues to threaten him. Now, at this point, I have a disagreement with the prosecutor. The prosecutor says that Kenan Ivery, the gun is in his right waistband, right here. Reaches down, keeps touching his gun, making sure it's ready. Touching his gun, making sure it's ready. Watch the video, that's not what happens. What Kenan does is he lifts his jacket to show the gun. And you'll see, he does it 2 or 3 times. And again, he does that in a way to say, look, I don't want any trouble, leave me alone. Don't tread on me kind of thing. That's what he's saying by showing that gun. Again, he doesn't come and blast him. When he's first confronted and threatened, he doesn't pull out the gun and start shooting. Well, what you'll see on the videotape, at one point in time, Tiffany does go over to Justin Winebrenner. And again, Justin Winebrenner, the whole time this Wakami confrontation is going on, you see Justin Winebrenner seated at the bar, he's not even paying attention to it. He has no idea what's going on. This is where the incident pretty much happens. Justin Winebrenner begins to walk over towards Kenan. So now Kenan Ivery is standing there. He's got David Wakami, 400 pounds in front of him, 400 pounds intoxicated in front of him, slurring his speech, telling him he's going to kick his black ass. From his left, Justin Winebrenner comes over. Kenan Ivery does not know who Justin Winebrenner is. He doesn't know he's a police officer. He has no knowledge of him whatsoever. Again, to Kenan, just like Katie, it's just another guy in the bar, just another patron. So as Winebrenner is coming over from his left-hand side, this other guy named Isel, who is on this end of the bar, he comes over from Kenan's right-hand side, where the gun is. So now, again, he doesn't come in blasting. He is not confronted by this big guy and start blasting. His gun is here. It is in his waistband. And you will see on the video, when Justin Winebrenner comes over to his left-hand side, David Isel comes over on his right-hand side. And Kenan is now surrounded by 3 people. He's got the wall behind him. He's got Winebrenner on his left. He's got Isel on his right. He's got Wakami in front of him. And you will see in the video that even at this point, nobody's pulling out a gun and shooting. There is no prior calculation of design. There is no intent in this case. The gun eventually comes out only when Winebrenner and Isel put their hands on Kenan Ivery. And Kenan Ivery will tell you, especially Isel, who's coming in from Kenan's right, Kenan believes he's reaching for his gun. And he's scared at this point. And he's got 3 people. He's got about 900 pounds of men coming at him. They're intoxicated. And at this point in time, he is scared. He doesn't know what their intention is. He doesn't know what they want to do to him. He doesn't know what's going to happen if ISIL can get his hand on that gun, and his gun comes out, and you'll see it. But what you have to understand is, he does not pull the gun out and aim at a certain person. Nothing like that. As he, frankly, is getting pushed, knocked on his ass, for lack of a better phrase, the gun starts firing randomly. It's tragic. Mr. Winebrenner was struck, but it doesn't change factually what happened here. So, as the prosecutor told you, watch the video. Video is going to tell you a lot in this case. Not quite everything. So listen to the witnesses. As I said about 15 minutes ago, ultimately, you have to decide what, frankly, if anything, is legal. Pay attention. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to now take our lunch break. And so remind you to put your notepads on your chairs. We need you, if you could, Mr. Von Allen, move that then. Put your notepads on your chairs, face down. I'm going to remind you about all the admonitions regarding this case, which is you're not to discuss this case with anyone, you're not to permit anyone to discuss it with you or in your presence, you're not to investigate this case in any fashion, you are not to make any final decisions until you've heard all the evidence. You haven't heard any evidence yet, so it's going to be a long process here. I'm going to also give you one more bit of information that I neglected to get you before, and that is, even though Kelly is taking down everything that's being said here, it doesn't mean she's going to be whipping up a transcript every night till 3 o'clock in the morning so that she can present that to you during deliberations to review the testimony. You need to pay attention because there will not be transcripts made available to you as a part of deliberations. Many jurors think that that's something that happens routinely. It is not. And so that's one of the reasons we let you take notes, is so you can pay attention and keep track of the evidence and recall the evidence yourself and collectively as well. So we're going to usher you back into the jury room, and then you're permitted to take 1 hour for lunch. I will tell you there's numerous places you can go to eat lunch around here. Obviously, there's the cafeteria downstairs. There's also numerous places in downtown Akron that can get you in and out within an hour. There's not a problem if some of you wish to go to lunch together, but you cannot obviously discuss the case while you're together. All right, so we'll see you back in the jury